No, you were going to follow up after that.
I was trying my own.
Oh, why didn't we should have set that up better. I thought it was pretty close.
Yeah. So a little backstory. We couldn't remember how that song starts. Like what the thing sounds
How
like.
Wipeout the song.
How Wipeout starts.
In case you couldn't get what we were doing.
So Rach likes to make it into this.
Wipeout.
Yeah, Rach does this little laugh, and I go, Wipeout.
I think I'm closer. Oh my god, those levels are terrible. This is gonna take forever to edit. Oh, listeners, welcome back to week 6.
I was like,
It is week 6. We are in the thick of summer. We are loving life.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Summer's Off. Thanks for joining us again.
Yeah, thank you, folks. So,
hope you guys are liking the season so far. I'm having a blast.
Yeah.
And that's really what this is all about. This is about me having fun.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you want to come along for the ride, join us.
If you don't like it, don't tell anybody that you don't like it.
Oh, for sure.
Tell everybody that you do like it and play tricks on them.
Yeah.
And then rate it high. That will get everybody. That'll show us.
Yep. Very good. But yeah, honestly, if you do want to rate or review or give us a like, will that help?
Thumbs up?
I don't know.
Yeah, like, especially on iTunes.
On iTunes,
yeah, like
thumbs
if you
up. That would be
if
helpful.
you rate and review on iTunes, oh my gosh, I kiss your lovely face.
Ty, how are you doing this summer?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, how are things going? Let's just do a little tangent before we get into it.
Yeah.
A little check-in to see how things are going.
For sure.
How's life?
So I'm in Winona right now. We actually live apart. We're still together. Nice try, everyone. I know you're all hoping that would work out for you, but it didn't. But yeah, I'm in Winona right now doing Shakespeare for the summer. Playing 34-year-old Romeo, which is really fun.
Ooh,
in
that
Romeo and
is
Juliet.
very fun. Very saucy of you.
Yep. The gray-eyed morn, they're actually talking about my hair in that scene, so that's kind of cool.
Shakes
That's for
jokes.
the Shakes jokes for the nerds out there. Rach, like they say, I'll look to like.
If looking, liking, move.
And what's that mean?
You know
You
if I
tell
do.
me.
You tell me.
No, it's not my line. It's Juliet's.
Don't need to.
Well, yeah, how are you? How's your summer going?
I'm having a saucy summer myself.
Yeah, you're a 2-puppy parent.
I'm a 2-puppy parent, which is going better than I expected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're just, reading books, watching TV shows, and sauteing a lot of vegetables. That's what my summer has amounted to so far, and I'm not mad about it.
Yeah.
I miss you. I miss you a lot. I'm glad you're here today. This is nice.
Yeah.
This is pleasant. But yeah, like our one day a week that we get to see each other, we're going to podcast.
For sure.
Because
Yep.
it's fun.
It's a good time.
And we have to. Got to keep up with the demand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad your summer's going well. Mine is too. And y'all's.
So, Ty,
Yes.
it's my turn this week.
Uh-huh.
What movie did I force you to sit through today?
So we watched When Harry Met Sally. Is it right? When?
Yes.
Not just Harry Met Sally.
No.
That's what I
got
typically
it.
call it, though. I call it like, hey, we're going to watch Harry Met Sally.
Yeah, I
It's
think
When Harry
most
Met
people
Sally.
understand that. Yeah.
Okay.
When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. 1989. Ty, would you like to give the audience an exact amount of how old we were when this movie came out?
2.
We were 2 years old,
Yep.
which means we are
34. Young mid-30s.
our mid-30s.
Young mid-30s.
You always want to tell people how old we are.
Yep.
So there it is. Get it out of the way.
I kind of do that, like, in general. I tell a lot of people how old I am.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think that's about?
I don't know, because generally I'm around people significantly younger than me, and you
Mhm.
think that I should be, like, trying to play it cool, like, yeah, I'm one of you guys. But I'm always like, I'm the 34-year-old in the room. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I do it to be, like, the old crotchety man or what it is.
Do people, like, act surprised when you say that?
You know,
or
it could be a little bit of compliment hunting, too.
Yeah, you're
because
like,
they're always
"What?"
like, no way, I thought for sure you were 27. And I'm like, you little devils. You're all going to get kisses if you keep that up.
Nobody ever does that to me.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't think I look like I could be in my 20s, but I don't think I act like I could be in my 20s.
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh,
Is that an attack?
No, if you got that as an attack, that was all you. I just mean that I come off a little bit older and more mature sometimes. This could be my deep, husky voice.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I showed you today that I have significant gray sideburn hairs in my right sideburn and no gray sideburn hairs in my left sideburn. It's weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when we went out to lunch today and we were outside, your
Oh,
hair got
yeah.
all floofed up in the wind. And
Wind-tossed, Bridgerton
wind
style.
tossed, and like it stuck up because it looked like you had product in it. But I think it's just how coarse all those grays are. Like it just like kept it. It was great. I'm not saying it's bad. It was a very attractive look on you.
Gray-eyed morn.
Gray-eyed morn. Ooh, all right. For our listeners who maybe have not watched this movie, because this is an older movie.
89.
Yeah? 89,
Yep.
great year. Give us a bit of a synopsis
Sure.
of what this movie's about.
Yeah, When Harry Met Sally
Harry
is
played by,
Billy Crystal,
Sally played by.
Meg Ryan,
Thank you.
and these two meet up when they are going from college. I don't remember where they were at the time. but-
Chicago.
Chicago. They're going from college in Chicago to move to the Big Apple. And they carpool together and they see like how different they are. And then they just keep running into each other like once they're in New York and their lives progress and stuff like that. And finally they have this moment. And it's set up at the beginning of the movie. The central thesis statement of this entire movie is, can a man and a woman become friends if they're, I mean, I guess they both have to be straight, because I think you can become friends if you're like not attracted to the opposite sex. But like if you are attracted to the opposite sex, can a man and a woman become friends and stay platonic friendship, or will always dip into romantic territory and it always has to be resolved in somehow? So that's the general thesis statement, and we see these two tackle with wrestle with that and try to tackle that idea. And sometimes they find themselves in situations as more than friends, and it tests their friendship, and they have to decide, like, well, are they going to go down that road? Are they not going to go down that road yet? So that's kind of the general idea of the plot.
Yeah. Like if I read you the taglines, I think you hit the nail on the head.
Yep.
Taglines are, can two friends sleep together and still love each other in the morning?
Okay, now that is different than what I just said, though, because if I tell you, can you be friends with a girl? The answer is yeah, you probably can if you really like keep your wits about you. You know, like if you're like a normal human being, you probably can make
Keep
this
your wits
happen.
about you.
But if you sleep with a person of the opposite sex, yeah, you're probably going to develop feelings. That's
or same, yeah.
That's a no-brainer. I don't think
each other in the
I don't
morning.
think you can be friends with benefits, as the movie Friends with Benefits taught us.
Oh, another classic.
And what was that other movie that came out around that time? Because that's the one with Natalie Portman, right? Friends with Benefits?
I get these two mixed up all the time. There's Friends with Benefits,
And
and
what's
then
the other
there's
one?
the other one that's got, again, I don't know which is which, but then you've got like a Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis
Yes.
version. Oh, boy.
Ah.
Both exactly what you think they are.
Yeah,
exactly what you think
they both kind of steal this plot line a little bit, like this whole like, can we just be friends? But they're like actively hooking up in those.
Yeah,
movies.
that's more about like, can we hook up because we're friends and we have that need?
Yeah.
But like, let's still like not be in a relationship,
which is
really
bonkers.
stupid.
Who thinks that
I
that's
don't know.
gonna work?
Some people think that, babe.
Well, and if it does work for them, more power to them. But I would say like 90% of the population, that's not going to work for you. I don't think.
I don't know. I don't know. The other tagline I have is, can men and women be friends, or does sex always get in the way?
Yes, it does.
So I actually had not seen this film until very recently. Like at some point when we lived here in Mankato. So within like the last 3 years is like when I watched this film.
Okay.
And actually it was a listener who had, I think it was my cousin, who had said, hey, have you not seen this movie? And I was like, oh, no. Because maybe in an earlier podcast we had said, like, oh, I haven't seen that. So thought, like, okay, it's been recommended to me. It's on lists. I should check it out.
What I'll say, listeners, is if you have a movie that you really, really want to see on this podcast, we've gotten recommendations and we've pulled them off. Like Lost was a recommendation for us. We had Big Trouble in Little China was a recommendation.
No.
Goonies was a recommendation.
What?
Johnny, you know. Goonies was a recommendation from several people. I swear, I heard Goonies from like 5 people.
That was a
so
good
like, if you have something you really want to hear on this, Clueless, our buddy Dave.
Yeah, that's true.
And so
every now and then we'll throw in a...
We'll throw you a little bone skis.
All 5 of you listeners,
Yep.
we hear you. We hear you.
Hey, don't go sell us short. I mean, there's a lot of rando listeners out there that we don't know.
They don't have our contact info.
Send our way. They know the Facebook page.
You realize, of course, that we could never be friends.
Why not?
What I'm saying is, and this is not a come on in any way, shape, or form, is that men and women can't be friends because the sex part always gets in the way.
That's not true. I have a number of men friends and there is no sex involved.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I
You
do.
only think you do.
You're saying I'm having sex with these men without my knowledge?
No, what I'm saying is they all want to have sex with you.
They do not.
Do too.
They do not.
Do too.
How do you know?
Because no man can be friends with a woman that he finds attractive. He always wants to have sex with her.
So you're saying that a man can be friends with a woman he finds unattractive?
No, you pretty much want to nail him too.
So the director of this movie, Rob Reiner.
Yes, I saw that name.
Yeah, and I forbade you from Googling him
Yep.
because I wanted to make you look foolish. I wanted to make you sound foolish on this. Ty, who's Rob Reiner?
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I don't want to make you look silly.
I thought that it was going to be the guy who he did I think he directed, no, he didn't direct that movie. I was going to say A League of Their Own.
No.
But
But-
was that his daughter?
His ex-wife,
Oh.
Penny Marshall,
Yes.
directed A League
Penny
of Their
Marshall,
Own.
who also did Big.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Rob Reiner was her husband. He's like the old guy. He kind of is in movies sometimes.
Yeah,
Yep.
he is.
I could
Yep,
picture
he got
him.
to start in movies. Yep.
Okay. But I couldn't remember what he had directed that we had talked about in this season. So we've never watched
Yeah.
a directed movie by him.
We have not. He was in All in the Family. That's kind of what he's most
Okay.
famous for. And that's also,
Okay.
he was in that with Billy Crystal, I believe. Or
Oh,
maybe
gotcha.
not. Wait, hold on. I don't know. Yes, he was. I'm freaking out. No, but you know a lot of the films that he's directed. And, like, looking at this list, like, he is a very well-versed director, I would say. So movies like this, Stand By Me,
Yes.
director of Stand By
Oh,
Me.
so good.
Mhm.
If you haven't seen Stand By Me, go watch it right now. It's so good.
That would be a good one. The Princess Bride.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Also different. A Few Good Men.
Mm-hmm.
And then after this, he directed Misery.
Wow, that is quite the eclectic collection of films. That's
Yeah.
really wild.
Yeah. Rom-coms, suspense.
Court drama,
Yeah.
yep, horror.
Coming of age.
Thriller,
He
yeah.
does it all.
Yep.
And well.
Wow.
Those are all really great. I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So he was the director. And this movie came about after he and Penny had gotten a divorce. And he
Okay.
kind of got the idea for this movie based on him being newly single and having to go on dates again.
Yep.
So he approached Nora Ephron.
Yes. Now, when I saw Nora Ephron's name, I was like, oh my gosh, I know this name.
You do know this
I
name.
know this name. Have they done a movie that we did for Summers Off?
Yes.
Okay.
It was one of my, one of my movies.
I'm moaning like Billy Crystal does in the movie. Yeah. It was one of your movies.
Yeah, well, obviously.
Okay. It was. Give me another hint.
Meg Ryan was also in it.
So it was You Got Mail.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nora
Did she
Ephron.
do
She
Sleepless
wrote
in
and
Seattle?
directed that, and she wrote and directed Sleepless in
Okay.
Seattle.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, her and Meg Ryan, like, this is the start
For sure.
of that trilogy, essentially.
This is the start of a beautiful friendship.
They quote Casablanca a lot in this
Yep.
film, in case you were curious
Yeah.
where that
An
came from.
overrated Casablanca.
Ooh. Ooh.
Boosh.
Should we take a tangent about Casablanca? I don't know, Ty.
Well,
Whoa,
we already
hot
did in our
takes.
Godfather episode, I think, didn't we?
We talked about Casablanca?
Didn't I talk about the best movies of all time with Godfather? And I said, like, Casablanca's number 2. And
Yeah,
I said overrated.
That's true. You're not as big a fan as some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's overrated. Big time. It's a 6 out of 10.
Would we say that?
Yep, we would.
Would we call it 6
I
out of
would.
10?
I would say 6 out of 10.
Right. Okay. Well, anyways, Robbie pitched this to Nora.
Robbie Ryan
And Nora Ephron got together. He said...
They got together?
No.
Oh.
Just in the platonic sense.
Okay.
They said, hey...
Well, you can't be just friends, Rach.
Well, we're going to get to that part.
Oh,
That'd be
yeah,
fun. That's a
yeah.
little segment. And he wanted to create this movie, and he had all these ideas about like what it would be about. And so the two of them met up over lunch a couple of times, like 3 times, and just started to like talk about characters and talk about love and marriage and relationships and things like that. And so then Nora Ephron went off and did her magic and started writing a script based loosely as Harry on Rob Reiner.
Yeah.
And she put elements of herself as Sally's character.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in a way, that she kind of inserted their 2 creative heads into these characters.
Yeah, which is really interesting. So like one of the pieces, like for example, in the film, the character of Sally is very particular. She orders food in a very specific way. She
Yep.
always gets dressing on the side, and if it's not on the side, then I want this on the over here, and then
Yep.
don't heat up the ice cream or I don't know, whatever, all kinds of particular things. That is how Nora Ephron orders food.
I'd like the chef salad, please, with the oil and vinegar on the side and the apple pie a la mode.
Chef and apple a la mode.
But I'd like the pie heated, and I don't want the ice cream on top. I want it on the side, and I'd like strawberry instead of vanilla if you have it. If not, then no ice cream, just whipped cream, but only if it's real. If it's out of a can, then nothing.
Not even the pie?
No, just the pie, but then not heated.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah, and Rob called her on it, and she said the famous line, "That's just the way I like it."
Uh-huh.
So yeah, there's definitely bits of their personalities that are in these characters. Like Rob Reiner would say, like, he kind of comes in and out of depression a lot. He's very cynical, which I think Billy Crystal does a really nice job of like coming in and out of that, but making that feel very like lighthearted too.
Sure.
But he's also very much kind of like, what's the word? Like he kind of like catastrophizes a lot of things, especially when he's younger. He talks about the end of the world a lot. He always reads the last page of a book in case he dies and doesn't know how it ends, things like that. But a fun little side from a dialogue standpoint, Nora took a lot of the dialogue between Harry and Sally from conversations that Billy Crystal and Rob Reiner had, because the two of them are very good friends.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I wonder if they'd worked together before.
They had worked together before. They first acted with each other in what's that show I told you earlier?
Oh yeah.
All in the Family.
Yep.
They'd acted in opposite with each other in that. And then Rob directed him in a film. I gotta scroll down here. Oh, where's it at? It's a weird name. It's like when Mama jumps off the train.
Oh, Don't Throw Mama from the Train.
Yeah!
I know that movie.
You do?
Yeah. I know that movie.
I
I've
was
seen
gonna
it.
make a joke and make you tell me what it's about.
No. I mean,
Don't throw Mama off the train.
Don't Throw Mama off the train.
I've never heard of it.
I saw it when I was a kid, and I don't really remember it a ton. But yeah, I've seen that movie.
And?
I couldn't tell you much about it. I was a kid. It's great. You should check it out. I watched that movie around the same time that I watched, I don't know if you've ever seen this movie, and I do remember this one. Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Oh, I have.
Because they have like kind of similar titles, and so in my head I was like, I kind of pushed those movies together.
As one would.
Even though they weren't made around the same time. I think one was like mid-'80s and one was like early 90s. But yeah.
Same time.
Have you ever seen that movie?
I don't think
Don't
so.
Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead?
No, I don't think so.
It's really interesting.
See, I was a babysitter,
was like a party movie.
and so that would be a little much for me. I'd be scared.
The babysitter's old.
Oh.
And
An
so,
old
like,
babys-
then the family
Oh.
who she was supposed to be watching, like, the teenage sister, like, takes over, and then her, like, teenage brother, and then they got little siblings as well. They throw this huge-ass party, and she gets a job, and she's, like, pretending to work in the city to, like, get money, because they're going to be gone, I think, all summer, her parents.
Oh, my gosh.
Because they need money. And
What
so
did-
she starts working, like, in the city, like, as a secretary and stuff, and gets, like, advances on paychecks and stuff. And so she's acting like an adult, even though she's a teenager.
What did they do with the body?
I think maybe in the closet. I
Oh,
don't remember.
God. See, I
It's
was
tough 'cause
hoping
I'm
it
probably
wasn't something like
I'm probably
that.
mixing Three Ninjas up with it, where they put that babysitter in the closet with the pizza. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So could be mixing that up. But yes, I know the movie.
Another classic.
Yeah, more classic movies. Three Ninjas, true classic.
Woo. That's wonderful.
Yep.
So this film originally, the ending was not going to be a happy ending. Because Rob felt that that was more realistic of real life. You date, you mess things up with a friend, you move on, you know, maybe your friends, maybe your lovers, who knows. But the sweet part is that he fell in love during the filming of this with a photographer, not related to the film at all, just he fell in love again. And then he said that he wanted the film to have a happy ending as well. So he said, Nora, get back in there and give me a happy ending.
Did she want a happy ending?
No one ever asks Nora what she wants. We don't know. We don't know what Nora wanted.
That's not true. In Sleepless in Seattle and You Got Mail, people asked Nora what she wanted.
That's true.
And she said, I want Meg Ryan again.
Again and again. I'm going to write it and I'm going to direct it this time. Ha. Yeah, good for her. Good for her. They did ask her what she thought of the title. And again, they didn't care. She hates the title When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah.
She did not like it.
What did she want it to be called?
Well, there's a couple of options. Are you ready for these?
Yeah.
Boy Meets Girl.
Okay.
I feel like that's another movie. I know Boy Meets World, but like, is there another movie?
There's a play called Boy Gets Girl.
Yeah.
And that's about like
Rape?
guys. Yeah, kind of. It's got like guys think. It's like
Really?
it's like obsessive compulsive. Like
It
you're
sounded-
mine.
It
like
sounds a little rapey. to be
stalkery.
honest.
Yep. He stalks the girl.
How They Met.
How they met.
Yep. Harry, This Is Sally.
That's so similar.
That's probably the worst one, to be honest.
Yeah, I
like
don't like
just
that
the
one.
comma in it and everything is just
Harry, this is Sally.
I don't
No,
know.
I hate it.
No. Oh, you'll love this one. Playing Melancholy Baby.
No.
What does that even have to do with anything?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I like When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah, I do too. So what Rob Reiner did is they couldn't come up with a title, and they had a contest with the cast and crew that said, name this film.
Yeah.
Someone give us a name for this film, and I'll give you a box of champagne.
Oh,
And
okay.
somebody, we don't know who, but somebody came up with the iconic title, When Harry Met Sally.
That's awesome. I think they did a great job.
Yeah.
They deserve that box of champagne.
Well, Efron still hates it.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
even to this day.
I don't know. I think it was pretty good.
So, casting for Harry,
Uh-huh.
Billy Crystal was not their first choice, even though he was really good buds with the director. That was one of the reasons why Rob, I think, kept him at arm's length, because he didn't want just to have his buddy in
Yep.
there, or to have him like audition and to work with him and then have it ruin their friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can two men remain friends if one is a director and one is an actor? I don't know. That's
No,
the other context.
That is, and I'm actually writing that movie right now. It's called When Ty Met Scott.
So their first choice for Harry, I don't think you're going to know who this is, so I have to describe it. Albert Brooks. Do you know that name?
No.
Okay. This guy, you will know him when I describe him to you.
Okay.
So, remember the movie This Is 40?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So, picture hot Paul Rudd, right?
Yeah.
Picture
So
his
hot.
dad. Can you think of what his dad looks like?
In that movie?
Yep. He's kind of a larger guy, curly hair,
Oh,
has a shirt unbuttoned lower than he should for a man his
I
age.
think I'm starting to kind of come into a view of who this person
He
is.
was
but I'm gonna type him
also
in, too.
in the movie Drive. He was, this is kind of gross. He's the guy who like catches the other guy trying to leave and he slits his wrists in by the car.
Oh yeah,
You remember that scene?
Yep, I
Yeah.
do, and I pulled him up too. Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
He has a cool voice. He almost sounds like Gene Hackman a little bit.
He does have a cool voice
Yep.
now that you say that. Albert Brooks. Google him, everyone. If you don't know who it is by now, Google him really quick. You'll know who he is.
Yep.
But very interesting choice. He must have been big at this time because he turned it down because he said that the movie, reading the script, he said, this is too reminiscent of Woody Allen's work. I don't want to do
Oh.
something that is, it felt copying, or I don't know what he said.
Sure.
He just thought too much like Woody Allen. He turned down roles in Big.
Albert Brooks did?
Yeah. I don't know what role, but still, he turned down a role
I
in
mean,
that.
you'd think it would have had to be a pretty big role.
There's not a ton of guys
Yeah,
in
there's
that.
not a ton of dudes.
Yeah, it couldn't have been Tom Hanks. Or could it have? I don't know.
I mean, I guess he could have turned down. There was that one guy he works in the office with and stuff. There's some like random bit parts, I suppose, that he could
yeah.
have turned down.
You know what else he turned down?
What?
Pretty Woman. role. I don't know what role. I just said roles.
Oh,
so
okay.
immediately I go straight to like the main character,
The
Richard
top-
Gere.
No, he couldn't have turned down Richard
Well,
Gere's
he was
role.
gonna be Harry in this though, so let's think about that.
But...
Is that different? Is Harry a different character?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Than Richard Gere's part in Pretty Woman.
Yeah,
Yep, for
he was
sure.
probably gonna be. Oh, what's the guy's
George
name?
Costanza's?
Yeah,
Yeah, that role?
whatever his real name.
I could see
is.
that.
Don't you think?
Uh-huh,
That'd
for
have been a
sure.
good one
Yep.
for him. We'll say that. Tell me if you've ever heard of this guy, Tom Hanks.
He turned it down?
He turned down the movie. He said, which is crazy, right? Think about him and Meg again.
Yeah, I
This would
know.
be pre Sleepless in Seattle, pre
Joe vs.
You've Got
Volcano?
Mail.
Have they done that?
When was that?
I don't know.
I don't think so. This was
I
one
don't
of
know.
like Meg Ryan's first ones, but we'll get to her in a minute.
Okay.
Tom Hanks said that this movie, it was too lightweight.
Yeah, it's too lightweight. I need something that challenges me more, like Turner and Hooch. Or that Labyrinth movie, or Magic movie, or whatever. Not Labyrinth.
Turner and Hooch.
Have you ever seen Turner and Hooch?
I haven't, but I know what you're
Do
talking.
you know what it's
It's the
about?
dog movie.
Yeah,
He's
he's
a cop,
he's
right?
a cop, and
He's
he's
a
got a
dog.
dog who's a naughty dog.
Of course he is.
He's like Beethoven. He's naughty.
Too lightweight. Tom Hanks quote.
He'd be challenged.
Ooh, a couple more. Michael Keaton, but he was busy doing Batman around this time.
I was
so.
gonna say Michael Keaton was he was like about to explode. So like I don't blame him on that one.
I think his jaw's much too strong for Harry as well.
Michael Keaton's?
Yeah, don't you think?
You know what's funny is all these guys all have like curly dark hair.
Yeah. Do you think that's it? Do you think that's like, oh, Harry's gotta like look maybe Jewish? We don't know.
Yeah,
like
well, he's got this dark curly receding hairline thing. Like all these actors that you're bringing up, they
Yeah.
all have the same style of hair.
and Richard Dreyfuss. That's the last one.
Wow. Yeah.
That's crazy.
But Richard Dreyfuss, he almost seems like he would have been too old at this point.
Yeah, it's hard for me to picture any of these
I
men
know.
in '89.
Me too, because I go to wasn't Richard Dreyfuss in Jaws?
Yeah.
And then he was in what's the movie where he's like the band constructor or
Mr. Holland's Opus.
Mr. Holland's Opus. So those are the two movies that I can think of.
Wow,
and then there's like
quite the
this
range.
there's this gap of about 20 years in there that I'm like I don't know what he looked like.
Hard to say. Hard to say. But in the end, what they did is they ended up going with Billy because he just killed it in the audition. And it always came back to him. He's like, you know what? He's perfect for it. We're friends. Who cares? He's the best one. He deserves it. He gets it. So, a little nepotism paid off. Harry.
I don't know.
Billy
Would you call
Crystal.
that nepotism?
Well, it's not related, I guess. It's
Yeah.
friends helping friends out. Isn't that what the biz is all about? Why else would you make friends?
If I
If
ever
not
got
to get a
big-
leg up.
If I ever got big and it was like, who do we want for this? I'd be like, my buddy.
Yeah, that's true.
Easy choice.
Easy peasy. You're right. So, but I do think it's fun that a lot of the dialogue and the convos were based off of their friendship and
Yeah.
like their banter and back and forth. So
Mhm.
I think that really also helps the dialogue feel so natural and feel so like this is like a very talky film, but
Yep.
I think very realistic dialogue. I think.
Sure.
My
yeah.
personality.
Yep.
Sally. Let's talk about Sally.
Who plays Sally? Carrie Fisher?
Meg
Oh,
Ryan.
okay, gotcha.
So the first couple, Susan Day was like one of the first choices. Susan Day was in a show called LA Law at this time.
Okay.
She was
I
busy
don't
with
know.
that, so she couldn't do it. Elizabeth Perkins from Big.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, how do I know that name?
You do.
Yeah,
Mhm,
from
mhm.
Big.
Yeah. So she would have been an interesting choice.
Uh-huh.
Okay, this is an odd one. Elizabeth McGovern. She's the mom in Downton Abbey.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was she doing back then? I wonder if she always did that goofy smile that she always does at Downton Abbey, where she pushes her chin down and she gives herself like a double chin, and she always like gives you a little angled look with a smile.
So precious. I'm trying to do my best impression.
My gosh! Speaking of Downton Abbey,
Please.
so I just watched Hollow Crown, not The Crown. Hollow Crown's Shakespeare. The dad in Downton Abbey is
Yeah,
in that.
Hugh Bonnefeld.
He plays Henry V's brother.
Oh.
So he's in Henry VI Part 1. He's like the hand of the king. He's like Sean Bean in Game of Thrones. He's awesome.
Yeah.
So good.
You raved about that. You
Hollow
just
Crown,
came
War of
home-
the Roses, folks. If you want accessible Shakespeare, if you like Game of Thrones, this is your freaking bag,
You
bro.
literally asked for that for like the last 3 Christmases. And did you finally
No,
get
I
it?
asked for the other Hollow Crown, but I got
Other
the
Hollow Crown?
Yeah, there's 2 of them.
Oh my gosh, what?
The other one has Tom Holland. Not Tom Holland.
Is
Tom
Hollow Crown just what all
Hiddleston.
3 of them are called together? Is that like just
Hollow
what
Crown is
Hollow
like
Crown? What is that?
Yeah, okay. So
Explain.
the first one is Henry IV, Part 1, 2, and Henry V.
Okay.
So it's all about the like maturation and growth of Henry V, but it's made into one like long ass movie.
Okay.
Well, it kind of is in sections. Then Hollow Crown Part 2, War of the Roses, is Henry VI, Part 1, 2, and 3, and Richard III. Richard III's the one with the hunchback. My horse, my kingdom for a horse. Now is the winter of our discontent. So that's Richard III, played by Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, or Ty Hudson
And-
in this
Yeah.
case.
Or if Ty Hudson plays it. I play like Jafar when he's in the jail. But maybe perhaps together we can be more. But it also has Judi Dench in it, who plays his
Dame
mom.
Judy.
Yep, she's in
Yeah.
it. So, but anyways,
Okay.
really good. It's
got
about the
it.
War of the Roses, Lancasters versus Yorks. If you don't know anything about it, it's a perfect entry point. Boosh.
Boosh.
Check it out.
I think you sold it.
Yeah.
I'm on
Hugh
board.
Bonneville, though. Excellent.
So good.
But back to the mom and her goofy smiles.
Yeah, could have been
Could have been her.
Sally.
Yeah.
We could have seen
Can you
her
imagine every time
fake orgasm.
Billy
in
Crystal
this
says
movie.
something goofy and she gives him one of those smiles?
One of those knowing smiles. Oh. I'm just an American. But the first choice, Molly Ringwald.
Whoa.
Mm.
That would have been weird.
Yeah, a bit.
Okay, so I don't think Molly Ringwald's a good actress.
Oh.
I've seen her enough times.
Oh.
So I
Okay.
think I like her characters. Like I think the characters they write for her are like well done from like a oh gosh, what's his name? John Hughes?
Yeah.
Standpoint. But I typically usually think like, gosh, if that was somebody other than Molly Ringwald, that would have been a lot better.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm not a Molly Ringwald
She's
fan.
so iconic.
I
Like,
know she is,
She
but
just.
I don't know,
is-
man.
She is that time period.
I know. But I don't think she's a good actress.
What is it that you just
I still
dislike
don't think
about
she's
her?
good.
Yeah,
I should take that back. I should
can you
clarify.
Get into that.
I think that she's just
Overrated?
so. I think she's. Well, I don't even know. I don't hear a lot of people say like, "Oh, Molly Ringwald's my favorite actress." Molly Ringwald, I love her. But I think that she's just bland and boring. And a lot of times I think like, oh, if you had somebody else playing that part, that would be a lot more interesting. And in a lot of movies, I typically think like, oh, if this Hughes actress was in this movie instead, like they would have been better. You know, like you think about. I don't know.
I got you.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
it's just how I feel. Okay?
Well, don't worry. She didn't get this role.
Well,
and
thank
she-
goodness.
And she was never seen
Glad
from
she
again.
yeah. I do feel bad about that. It's like she really fell off the face of the earth.
She was
after
gone.
one point.
And we don't know if that was intentional. Maybe
Yeah,
she took
could've.
a break.
Yeah.
I
she
don't
could've
know.
been
I
like,
didn't-
I hate acting.
I didn't do a lot of research on Molly Ringwald for
Well,
this
and
bit.
that
I hope
is-
that's okay.
That is a gap in what you've done here. And I hope you can live with yourself because I'm going to put it in the preview talk. I'm going to say, just so you guys, if you're curious, Molly Ringwald will not be touched on very deeply in this podcast.
Yeah, Ty likes to give me like a list of notes post
Yeah.
our podcasts. Like, hey, just make sure you do a better job of this and
Yeah.
listening. Listen more.
We need more Molly Ringwald.
Your research is a bit light. No, JK. Meg Ryan, when she finally came and she finally auditioned, it was over. It was over. The chemistry that those two had was palpable.
Now, here's my biggest question for you. When she walked into that audition room, what did her hair look like?
Ah, that is the age-old question. What is Meg Ryan's hair doing? It has its own character in this film.
Rach likes to say when people have big hair, she likes to say, "Be careful of that girl. Her hair has secrets." And so I kept thinking about that.
That makes me sound like not a good person, Ty.
No, it's just like she holds secrets in her hair.
She holds secrets in her hair. Yeah, especially around this time.
Yeah, and I thought that with Meg Ryan. I was like, oh my.
Yeah.
There's a couple times where her hair was out of this world. It was
know.
Perm City.
And you know what? I kind of love it. And there's a part of me that's like, if I was, I guess I was alive during this time, but if I had hair during this time to perm And to tease up like
Yep.
that, oh, I totally would.
Well,
I totally would try to do it.
You've been in 80s plays. Why didn't you tease it and perm it up more?
Why didn't I perm my hair for an 80s play?
That
Are
was-
you insane?
Hey.
Are you insane?
I'll be honest. I'm going to give you a leave right now to...
Give me a leave?
No, I'm going to give you a leave. I'm going to give you permission right now.
Oh.
If you want to go get a perm, I'm willing to go down this road with you.
You don't want me to get a perm.
No. I think let's try it.
Let's
have you get a perm.
Here's the thing.
And I'll grow out a mullet. And we'll be a duo.
I have had a perm. I've had 2 perms.
But you were in like
actually.
middle school, weren't you?
And then a junior in high school. I loved my perm. I honestly, sometimes I do think about getting a perm again
Why
because
don't
it
you
gives
do
you
it?
like wavy hair. One, it smells terrible. It's not really great for your hair. It's a lot of chemicals.
Sure.
And I don't know. And then you have curly hair. Like your default is always curly versus like you have to straighten it when you want straighten. That takes a lot of effort to straighten it though.
How long
do that.
do the perms last?
Oh, it usually grows out, but it's always like a little bit. It will fade, but it's always a little bit there. Not as tight, but it's kind of it'll get wavy, and then you'll see, and then all of a sudden, okay, now like by my chin and lower, now I've got like this like poodle part down here. So
Yep.
normally a good perm grown out is cut lopped off after the fact.
Oh,
so that way
so you
can
go from perm to short hair.
after you've enjoyed the perm.
Yeah.
You've enjoyed it to its max. It's dulled. It's growing out. When it starts to look awkward, lop it off. Short
Babe,
hair.
what are we waiting for? I like you with short hair. This perm sounds awesome. I'm so excited. Do it. Live the dream, girl.
Oh my gosh, should I get a perm?
Yeah.
Listeners, should I get a perm?
Yeah,
I'm really
you should get a
considering it.
perm.
I'm
You should
really
get a perm.
considering it.
If you get a perm, we'll do all 80s movies the rest of the
Oh
season.
my gosh. It's not going to look like that, though. Like, that involves, like, teasing, and I don't know
Sure,
what that
but
involves.
every once in a while you can do that.
Sure. It's spicy little
All
Saturday
right.
night.
Well, I thought that Meg Ryan's hair looked better as the movie went along.
yeah, I mean, she's got 70s hair at the beginning, so it's very fair
Yeah, and I
faucety.
actually didn't mind the 70s hair. I thought that was kind of cute because I wish she was going for the the
Yep.
fair
And then she's
faucet
got,
thing.
like, a straight, flipped-out
Now,
version.
that was the weirdest. I hated that haircut.
Yeah, well, that was definitely a wig, because she has naturally curly hair, I feel like, in general.
Yeah.
Or at least in this-
Does she have kind of straightish hair? Like, think about You Got Mail and...
Yeah, but think
Sleepless in
about
Seattle?
movies around that time, too. Like, doesn't she have curly hair, too? I think her hair was straightened for that. I think
maybe.
when it gets wet, I think she's got curly hair.
We'll
We'll have to find
have
out.
to get her in the dunk tank.
But she had a lot of good chemistry with Billy Crystal, and they actually read together, and she almost starred opposite him in Throw Mama from the Train.
Mm.
But Billy says, thank God they didn't, because he didn't think that Rob would cast them opposite again
Yeah,
had that
twice.
happened.
Yep.
So
I mean,
it
yeah, 'cause
was a blessing.
she only works with somebody one time and then she's done. That's what I always heard about Meg. It's like in her contract.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, seeing two actors opposite each other in multiple movies, ew, gross. Wow.
Gross. What's the point?
Oh, goodness. She turned down Steel Magnolias to play Sally.
So she was going to be the Julia Roberts character?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
She was going to be Shelby.
So
Shelby.
here's what I'll say. I like that she turned it down.
Yeah.
Because I think she would have just been okay in that role. Probably good, you know.
She would have been good.
She would have been good. But I wanted to see her in this role and then let Julia Roberts have that role. Because if you flip them, I don't know, that wasn't an option.
No.
But if you would, that wouldn't have worked either.
I agree. I think they played to their strengths
Yep.
in that casting.
Yep.
Interestingly enough, she also turned down another famous Julia Roberts role.
Pretty Woman.
Yes.
Yeah, I already knew that.
How'd you know that?
Because
Have you been doing research behind my
I'm
back?
very smart. I do my research.
You do
I
your
could
research
tell
on
you
my
everything you want to
movies?
know.
About this movie?
Yeah. What do you want to know about Molly Ringwald?
Oh, we'll get back to her. But yeah, she also turned down Pretty Woman. I don't know the reasoning at why she did. Maybe she was busy with something. Maybe she didn't want to play a hooker. It could have been one of the two.
I mean, wasn't that around Sleepless in Seattle time?
Oh, it could have been. That, yeah, probably.
I mean, once again, I would have said, like, good, you guys each did the movie you should have done.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Because I don't think
You're
Meg
not wrong.
Ryan would have been as good in Pretty Woman.
Yeah. It's hard when a role is so iconic in a film to ever picture anybody else
Yeah,
in
it's
that role.
true.
Even if that person is either a better actress or just as good. I say actor or actress.
Mm-hmm.
It's just hard. It's hard when something is that iconic to put anybody else in it.
Yep.
It just is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I always wanted a shot to play Aladdin, but I know you would have always thought of Steve from Full House every time you would see me.
Aladdin, that's what you pick?
Yeah.
You can never play Aladdin. You know that, right?
I'll show everyone.
You can't even do the voice of Aladdin anymore, babe. That ship has sailed and you must sail away with it.
Never surrender your dreams, folks.
The only other casting.
What's that, Bo Burnham? Like, I have a costume of Aladdin in my closet. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, I wore it at 17. I wore. Should I burn it or should I not burn it? I don't.
Yeah.
What do I do with it?
If you guys haven't seen Bo Burnham's inside, it's a different recommendation.
Oh, it's fantastic. I would use the word genius, but I think that's overused. So.
Yeah. If the plebes didn't always use that word, I'd use genius.
The only other casting I want to touch on is Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher.
How do I know her?
You said that so sincerely, you almost had me. Woo. But fun fact, she was Penny Marshall's, or at this time still was, Penny Marshall's best friend.
Oh.
And so when Penny and Rob got a divorce, he still cast her in it because like they were still like friends or friendly. So
that's nice.
That's kind of
Good
random.
for him. Yeah. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. You might have also caught it too in the scene where they're doing the dinner party where they're playing Pictionary.
Yep.
Harry's date is his stepdaughter.
Harry's date.
Harry has a date.
Yeah,
in that
she's
she's got
brunette.
black long hair.
Yep.
In League of Their Own, she was Betty Spaghetti.
Oh my gosh, that's Betty Spaghetti.
Betty Spaghetti, who is Penny Marshall's daughter, who is Rob Reiner's stepdaughter, cast her in this.
Whoa! Now that you point that out, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, that is Betty
I
Spaghetti.
almost pointed her out, but I thought, I
No,
thought you'd remember.
This was
it.
really fun to have the surprise be now.
I know, it's very genuine. I can tell you're not acting.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool.
I know. So on set, it was highly collaborative, like down to the dialogue, down to where scenes should take place. Everybody had a lot of input in
Oh,
it.
I could tell Billy Crystal took that and ran with it.
Yeah.
Like, you can just tell
Ooh,
sometimes.
let's get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the ad-libbing? Because I know you could feel it.
Yep, you
yeah.
can totally feel it.
Yeah. Tell me a scene that you thought maybe there was some ad-libbing. Or tell me just like what gave that away.
Pretty much whenever he goes into his little tangents.
Yeah.
Like every time he goes into his little tirades about stuff, which I know is also part of the character.
Yeah.
But then there are
and
moments,
Billy Crystal playing anything.
but there are moments where you can just tell, like, that's Billy Crystal. Like, that's his language. That's just his mind right there. And so here's what I'll say. Two things.
Yeah.
Number one, I like that it like was his slice of life into the character. And I thought that was good. Number two, I don't like that I could feel it when it happened rather than like it feeling more seamless. Like it was motivated by the circumstances of the character. Sometimes I thought it was like Billy trying to show off his wit.
Yeah.
And how clever he is.
Yeah, his improv.
His comedic skills.
He was like an SNL before this, so that makes a lot of sense.
So I didn't like that much. And then number three, there came a point towards the end of the movie where I was legitimately irritated when he would do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so that, like, it lost its luster throughout the film. The beginning of the film, like when they're in the car ride and he's doing his, like, shtick, like, I kind of enjoyed it because it's the beginning of Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
But, so I just watched City Slickers not that long ago.
Oh,
and
which is right after this.
Oh, really? Okay. So in City Slickers, he does it, but he doesn't do it so much to the point like he's more of a giving scene partner in City Slickers to his two buddies because you can tell he's like the biggest name. The guy with the mustache in this movie is in City Slickers.
I didn't know that.
And then Marv from Home Alone is also in it. So those are the three guys, and I feel like he's really giving to those two.
Sure.
But in this movie, I thought he was a little selfish as a scene partner.
Interesting.
I thought there were moments where he was stealing focus or he was trying to do something where to show off his wit rather than just serving the script or the story.
Yeah. There is a scene, and I didn't point it out at the time, but I think you can remember it. They're in a museum or something like that, and he's putting this weird voice on, and he's like saying, like, repeat after me, pecan pie.
Yep.
You know, I can't do it, but
Yep.
anyways, they're going back and forth, and there's a spot where he's going on. He's kind of going on, and you see Meg Ryan, like, going along with it and improvising with them, and then, like, you see her cut to, like, looking over at Rob Reiner, the director, and being like, am I... And Rob's going like, yep, keep going. She's like, okay.
Yep.
she does, and they keep it in there.
Yep.
But you can totally see it. She like looks off stage like, hey, I'm kind of still doing this.
See,
Okay, fine. This is funny, huh? Okay.
and I thought that scene dragged on too long.
Yeah,
I thought it was
a little
about
bit.
2 to 3 times too long of doing that shtick.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, which is right when you can feel her eyes like look to like, help me. Am I still supposed to be funny with this guy? Are we going on? What's going on?
and I didn't understand what they were doing. Like part of me was
It
like,
kind of came out of nowhere a little
yeah,
bit.
is this just a weird voice or is this a dialect? And then I was like, if this is a dialect, am I supposed to be offended right now? So like I was going all over the place. I was like, are we making fun of a certain subgroup of people back then?
I mean, I don't think so because I couldn't even tell you like what the dialect was because it was so bad.
Yeah, yep.
So, but I didn't think of it in that sense of it
Sure,
being offensive.
okay.
But maybe it was intended to be. I don't know. I guess I cannot
Yeah, we'll get those Polacks.
say. That's kind of maybe
You know?
Eastern Europeans.
Yeah, that feels like
Sorry.
what it would have been.
Sorry, guys.
I have decided that for the rest of the day, we are going to talk like this.
Like this?
No, please, to repeat after me. Pepper,
Pepper.
pepper,
Pepper.
pepper, pepper.
Pepper.
Waiter, there is too much pepper on my paprikash.
Waiter,
There is too much pepper on my paprikash,
on my paprikash.
but I would be proud to partake of your pecan pie.
Oh, no.
But I would be proud
But I would be proud
to partake
to partake
of your pecan pie.
of your pecan pie.
Pecan pie.
Pecan pie.
Pecan pie.
Pecan pie.
He did improv this line though, which I love. The line at the end is, when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with someone, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible.
Oh yeah, that's lovely.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, for
that
sure.
was pretty nice.
Yep, for sure.
That's pretty good. So, one of my favorites. Let's just get into the acting a little bit. Like so Billy Crystal, maybe you're like a little on the fence with that.
So, okay.
Yeah, get into it.
One of my problems, and it has to do with the writing, not necessarily Billy Crystal, is I got some, I'm going to say this, and everybody who's seen this movie is going to be like, you're out of your mind.
I'll do it, everyone. Don't worry, I'll do it.
I got some Adam Sandler-isms in this movie. Now, hear me out. Not from his acting, but in how the character is portrayed. That he is a guy who I think most people, if you were being fair, would say like 5 out of 10. But he is having sex with so many women in this movie. He's always with a new gal. It's like how Adam Sandler is
They're
in all
pretty
his
attractive.
movies, where he's a 6 out of 10, and he's like, I'm with Jessica Biel and Kate Beckinsale in the same movie. No big deal. That's not true, but you know what I mean.
Oh, it's true.
He's always with somebody crazy hot, and you're like, that doesn't even make sense. And I thought that with Billy Crystal, like the whole movie, right off the bat, when he's in the 70s, making out with that one chick, it's like, why is everybody so obsessed with this guy who's not attractive, 5 out of 10, who is kind of a dick? He's kind of a prick throughout a lot of the movie. He's pompous. He's an asshole. He's a know-it-all. He's arrogant. He always is telling people how to think. He's always prying. He's doing all these things that are kind of negative. But we give him a pass. And we also sometimes all these girls want to hook up with him when he's kind of a dick and he's not very attractive. It just felt weird to me. I was like, this character and these circumstances don't make sense, because I think he's moderately funny. Like, he's funny, but he's not so funny that you'd feel like I have to be around Billy Crystal all the time. Harry's so funny. He's the funniest guy I've ever met. You know what I mean? He wasn't to that degree. So part of me was like, why do we care about this man so much when he's kind of a douchebag and he's not like super, super funny?
Interesting.
So I just felt like I was at a loss. And now in City Slickers,
No, well, I don't want
his
to talk
character
about. I don't
makes
want to talk about
way more
City
sense
Slickers.
to me. And so, but there's other movies out there, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
Where his characters make more sense to me than this Harry character.
When he's in those, is he the lead guy trying to get the girl? Is that what your problem is? Is that he's the
No.
lead guy getting a girl?
No, I don't think so. Well, if it was one girl, that'd be fine. Or if he was married and he then got a divorce, that's fine. But it's like, yeah, I went on a date, I've been hooking up with all these babes, and they keep talking about it throughout the whole movie.
But we
They talk
also
about how
don't know
much
what these
sex
women
he's
look.
been-
We don't know what these women look
Sure.
like. And you know what? Ugly people can have sex sometimes.
I
It's
know
not
that.
something that's reserved for just the attractive.
I know that. I know that.
I just want you to know
but
that.
do you deny that he's not handled like he's a very attractive man throughout the majority of this movie?
I I gotta disagree. I think he's played in a way that like she for most of the movie is disgusted by him, and it's not rightfully so. And it's not really until they are both in a spot where like they're broken up with or divorced or whatever that they like start to like have like a real conversation about just like life. And there's like, huh, you're actually smarter than I gave you credit for. So, so I think yes to what you're saying, but I think that's intentional. Like of him being like not likable and like, or why we're not supposed to be gaga for this guy. He's like, he's neurotic. Like he's depressed. He's neurotic. He's, loud, and he says things just as they are. And he comes off rude a lot. But like, that's at the end. Like her line, she's like, I hate you, Harry. That's one of her last things she says to him before they kiss at the end. And she's like, I hate you.
Yeah.
But she loves him.
But okay.
And here's the other thing. I think Billy Crystal's kind of cute in this movie. So I'm just going to put that. Yes, his hair leaves a bit to be desired.
Super short.
But there's something about him in this movie. He's never been cuter than in this movie.
Wow. Okay.
I'm just going to throw
and you know what I would say?
there.
I think that they tricked you into thinking he's attractive.
I think they did.
With how he's handled in this movie.
Could be.
He's the not hot guy hanging out with the other hot guys, or treated like the hot guy, and you're like, oh, he is hot. This happened to my buddy Paul.
What?
Not to Paul. Paul's not the guy. But there was a girl who everybody treated like the hot girl who was awesome. And she kind of treated him a little bit like she's kind of a dick sometimes. And I kept always being like, why do you care about her so much? Like, he didn't care about her. They never dated, nothing like that. But I was like, you think she's more attractive than she is. And you put up with this bull crap because everyone around here acts like she's Queen Bee. That's the only reason. And so that's what I felt like.
Does she have a good personality?
Not really.
No.
No, this isn't a girl you know, actually.
Maybe like power. There's
Yeah,
something
it's
about
like
that.
power.
Like it's powerful.
Now, here's what I wanted to see. Here's what would have made more sense to me.
Yeah.
I saw a similar character dynamic performance. Funny, it was with Meg Ryan, too.
Oh, was it?
Where a guy was
funny.
kind of a dick for a while, but you kind of understood him, but he wasn't hooking up with a bunch of people. He was just kind of like playing the field and stuff like that. And then he was with somebody, and then they broke up, and then him and Meg Ryan got together. What was that movie called? Oh, it was called You Got Mail with Tom Hanks. That was a good movie.
What's a good movie? You spit all over my iPad screen. I have to clear this off before I can continue. Yeah, but can we see them in 4 movies opposite each other? Are they allowed to ever act with anyone besides each other?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying Billy Crystal's character was a lot more annoying and confusing to me why we cared about him, especially when I juxtapose it to Tom Hanks in You Got Mail.
Yeah, much more charming for sure. This is the charmless You've Got Mail.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, much farther down the the pecking order.
Interesting.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So we're getting little peeks of where your list is at here. Other actors in this.
So I did not remember seeing this movie. I remember we were at a restaurant actually one time.
Were we?
Yeah.
Was it today?
We went to a
For
restaurant.
lunch? We went to?
Nope, it wasn't today.
Okay.
It was a different day. I don't remember where we were, but you and I were out to eat, and it was playing on a big screen.
This movie was?
Yeah, this movie was. And you're like, oh, that's When Harry Met Sally. And I was like, I've never seen that movie. And you're like, oh, I don't think I've really ever seen it either. I was like, oh, yeah, we'll have to watch it sometime.
I love when you make up fake dialogue for us.
No, that was spot on. I actually have a recording here.
Yeah. Continue.
So then when we were watching it, I remembered that Carrie Fisher was trying to keep things together with a married man. And
yeah,
that's like,
you did remember that.
That's all I remembered. So I must have seen like one scene from this movie at one point.
Yeah. So
but
Carrie,
that's all I remembered.
Yeah. Carrie Fisher in this movie plays Sally's best friend. And for the good half of the movie, she is dating this man that we never meet who's married. And there's always like, he's never going to leave his wife. And she's like, yeah, he's never going to leave his wife. Like, and this goes on for like a 5-year period, essentially, right?
Yep.
And then, which is fun, they end up having a little double date, and she ends up falling in love with Harry's,
Mario.
Yeah, Mario, Harry's best friend.
He looks kind of like
He
Mario.
does. He would be
Got
good
mustache.
at that.
I was like, he'd be the perfect
I
Mario
didn't write
back
his
in
name
the 80s.
down. I should have. But then they end up getting together and getting married and all
Yep.
that good stuff. So something good comes out of that for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like them in this.
I did too. I liked both of them. I thought both the friends' characters were great. I liked Meg Ryan.
Yeah.
It wasn't my favorite Meg Ryan. Once again, I saw her do a really good character interpretation in You Got Mail.
Yeah.
But I still thought she was good, though. I liked her neuroses. I thought that was like a funny quirk to play with, like how particular she is about certain things. I wanted, when they hooked up, to see more of these neuroses things add up. He pulls out, so the characters finally get together. Right? Do you want to explain it?
Nope.
So the characters finally
Mid-movie.
the characters finally get together and like hook up. And while he's laying there, he's talked before about like how he doesn't like to lay there and like cuddle afterwards. He never knows when to leave and stuff like that. He just wants to get out of there. And he pulls out this box and he sees that she's color coded all her movies.
Oh yeah.
And yeah.
Like alphabetized.
Yeah, she's alphabetized them in this like little card catalog. And so I like that, but I wanted to see like more of these neurotic things that then scares him away. Because he brings up stuff at the end of the movie. He's like how you always have to have this temperature and how you always, But I wanted to see more of that, like when we finally got to see her place. We've never seen her place before that.
Yeah. Did you notice in her bedroom that there were a lot of penguins?
No, not at all.
We're going to rewind it. I counted 5 penguins in her bedroom. No joke. Like stuffed
animals?
Yeah. There was 2 on the headboard, and there was 1 or 2 on a shelf. And I thought, we've never talked about penguins and this character, and it was just a bit odd.
That feels like something that should have been addressed.
It's probably a deleted scene.
Yeah, maybe.
Most of the times, if you don't know, it's probably a deleted scene. It has to be intentional. What props and sets just like, oh, I got some stuffed penguins. Why don't we put that in her? That makes her look really cute.
Or they were just randomly like, hey, what should we put in the bedroom? I want a lot of penguins. A lot of penguin stuff.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'll go get a bunch of stuffed penguins. I mean, it could have been like
Is
that too.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, I've been on a couple sets in my day, and that's kind of how it works.
We need more penguins.
Marriott hotels. We need more penguins.
So, for Meg, you would say not your favorite, but still pretty good?
Yeah, exactly.
I would agree with that. I think what I will say, though, as far as both the characters and like the writing, as far as the neuroses, I am glad that it didn't go too far, because I think then they become caricatures and they don't become like relatable, like real people.
Yep.
Because I think I just saw a lot of reality in both of them. Like, we all have our weird things, and when you create a movie with all your weird things back to back to back, it's like, yeah, that person's kind of odd. But I don't know. It felt more realistic to me. Then sometimes movies you get so like the neurotic OCD character, and just like, dude, like you need medication and therapy. Like you're not functioning as an adult. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
Yeah. I think Billy Crystal came across more of a dick, though, to me in that scene because it wasn't a whole lot that pushed him away.
Yeah,
it was just you saw a card catalog of her movies, and then she cuddled with you, and that was enough. I don't know. It just wasn't enough for me.
Yeah,
it just made him come across too
know.
douchey, and I was like, I don't really forgive your character for a lot of your stupid bullshit.
Yeah, I think that could have been sussed out a little bit more as to why he ran off. I don't think it really does a good job of like figuring out or explaining why he runs off. Because I think it's actually more about him being the rebound. And he realized that he was a rebound, and then he was like freaked out by that. Freaked out. And didn't want to be a rebound. Didn't want to be a pity, after F. I can't say it.
Which they say some F-bombs in this movie.
Oh yeah,
I was surprised.
It's
by
rated
that.
R. I should have.
I thought it would be a PG-13 movie because all you had to do is cut those like 2 F-bombs and it would have dropped down to PG-13.
Right, because there's really not a lot of other things in it content-wise that aren't bad.
Nothing drugs.
Yeah,
no nothing.
There is the orgasm scene. Do you think that would have at this time pushed it to an R?
I mean. I was gonna say present day, absolutely not.
Yeah,
that could be in Disney films, but but that orgasm scene, really fun, good acting out of Meg Ryan. Is because she's so. She kind of has that like America's Sweetheart kind of like vibe to her, Oh, yeah. And so to watch her like do that is like really like, oh my gosh, Meg Ryan, get it, girl. I mean, there's part of it that's like, oh, that's really cool.
So okay. Fun story about that scene. it was originally written for them just to discuss the idea that women fake.
Uh-huh.
Meg Ryan thought it would be really funny if she actually depicted faking an orgasm.
Yeah.
Not only that, but it was also her idea to say, and let's place it in a public place
Yeah.
with a lot of people around. So that was all Meg Ryan's idea. So
Oh,
this goes
cool.
back to this like highly collaborative
Yep.
set. Like Nora Ephron's like, yes, I love that idea. Let's do it. And not only that, then the director's mom, Rob Reiner's mom,
No, that's her?
she's the old woman sitting next to the table who has the famous line. Ty, what's the famous line?
I'll have what she's having.
Also ad-libbed by Billy Crystal.
Oh.
Or not
cool.
ad-libbed, but yeah,
created,
whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, he thought like, oh, this would be a good one. Have her say this. So I think,
Zinger.
yeah, what I love about that scene, I think it kind of encompasses like the movie and just like what it was like to be on set. It was like, oh, do this. Yeah, I have a good idea. Let's try this. So it was very much, it wasn't, I mean, I think it feels a lot like it's Billy Crystal a lot of the time, but there is a lot of ad-libbing that is also happening. I think Meg Ryan has some pretty good improv chops.
Sure.
Like even, you know, at the very end, they have that scene where they're being interviewed about their wedding or about like their love story, falling in love. They go back and forth about like the cake that they had. It was a coconut cake, but it
Yeah.
had chocolate sauce on the side. Like that's
Yep.
all them ad-libbing back and forth. So she adds that into. So I think she comes to play as well. I just think it gets kind of lost because like Billy Crystal is
Yeah.
like Billy Crystal, and like, you can't not listen to anybody but his voice because he's so unique
Sure.
sometimes.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you were gonna say
Do
something?
you think you could ever do that for a film or stage production?
Ad-lib?
No. Fake an orgasm.
Oh. Say ad-lib.
No, I know you can ad-lib. I've been in shows where you ad-libbed.
Oh, attacked.
No, we all did.
Oh gosh.
And your grandparents are going to see it. Guaranteed. There's no hiding it.
Yeah. Okay, can I tell you that was almost a reality 2 years ago when I was in the show I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change. There
Yeah.
is a scene in that where somebody they're kind of like the characters are if you don't know the show, it's a bunch of vignettes about marriage and love and dating. And there's a vignette where it starts off with this couple in bed and you hear them climaxing until the point, and then they go, huh. And then like this lawyer comes out and is like, not being satisfied in the bed, here, let's let so-and-so go to work for you. And then they like have them like do like a contract, like I will nibble on your toes for 20 minutes. And so I think it's funny, but
Yep. Is that in the new script or the older script?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
That's a really good question. Because we kind of spliced it, right? But I remember like reading through the original script when it was given to me thinking, oh God, I hope I'm the lawyer. And I do not want to be the person who has to fake an orgasm on stage because I wanted family to come and see it. And, you know, it's a little raunchy. And so, long story short, it got cut. That scene, nobody did it. And it was great. Whew. It's like night sweats averted. But could I and would I? Oh, that's really tricky. I think I could, but I would do it in a way that was like really silly. And the director probably would be mad about it because it wouldn't be realistic.
What if the director just kept saying like, no, I need this realistic. The more realistic, the more funny it's going to be.
I would do it realistic except for the night that I knew that they would be there. And then I would be like, oh yeah! Didn't think that was coming back around, did you?
We got
Full circle, baby.
We got your ass. Which I'll be honest, if you were doing an orgasm on a play and you did the wipeout thing, I would die. I would absolutely die. That to me would be like valid, wonderful choice. I love everything about it. That's a keeper.
I would die for me too.
Wipeout.
Oh, my tongue. Yep. Would you?
Oh yeah.
I know, it's boring. You have like, you don't care. You have no soul. You're whatever.
No, that's not true. There's a lot of things I wouldn't do.
I know you have a soul. I know. I was just saying that. There's a lot of things you wouldn't do. What wouldn't you do?
I want to get naked.
Oh, yeah.
Unless it was for a really high amount of money and it was and a great opportunity and you signed off. All those three things.
How much money?
Did you sign off?
I think I need to know the money first.
Yeah,
before
I think
sign
I
up.
need another money first.
That's fair. We can leave it at that.
But yeah, everything else, yeah, I probably would do a lot of other things.
I would do so many things. Oh, I did want to. Okay, back to that line. I'll have what she's having. It is one of the top 100 quotes from AFI, number
Sure.
33.
Oh, yeah.
So on the higher end,
Yeah,
top
for
third.
sure.
And the restaurant Cat's Delicatessa has a sign in their restaurant right above the booth where they sat. It's like, this Harry met Sally here or something like that. And then it's like, hope you have what she's having. And then for their 30th anniversary, Cat's Delicatessa hosted an orgasm faking contest.
Oh, very cool.
Which I don't know if I would do that. That sounds miserable.
Yeah, no.
Yes! 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 Oh! Oh, yes! 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 Oh! Yes! 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 Oh! 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 Oh, God. Oh.
I'll have what she's having.
That, yeah. Isn't that weird? Like, I wouldn't do it for, like, a prize or money in front of people like that, but I would do it in a show. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, because there's more artistic merit to it.
Is
You know,
there?
you're holding a candle up to nature.
Yeah, but
You
I
know?
probably could have
A
gotten,
mirror
like,
up to nature, not
free-
a candle up to nature. What am I, worst Shakespearean ever? Look to like.
Nope. Nope, nope, nope.
Now is the winter.
So back to those elderly couples and them being interviewed
Yeah.
about their
Yep.
love story. They're kind of like spliced throughout it. What do you think of those
I
stories?
didn't need it.
What? Tell me
Yeah.
some of the sweetest things about this movie. What do you mean you didn't need it? It was so cute.
Every time it took me out of the plot.
What?
It did. Every
Oh,
time I was like, oh,
no.
another old couple telling a story.
They were
No
so
joke.
cute.
No, I actually didn't think they were very cute. I thought that a
Oh.
couple were cute, but I would say only like 40%. 60% of them were kind of like, whatever.
Well, these were actual stories
I
from
believe it.
crew members that then they hired actors to tell. So,
Oh, okay.
So I guess it's not as cute when I tell you that fact of it, other than they were real stories, but
Yeah.
the acting was fake.
Those are just old actors.
Okay,
Those
no.
aren't even really old people's stories.
But they were really cute old actors together. And didn't you think they could all be couples? I thought they could. I could see them being married.
Some of them.
Some of them. Whoosh. So there is a four-way phone call scene. Do you remember it?
Yep.
I didn't know.
I like that scene.
You were kind of like letting the dog out at that time. And
No, I
was
saw
like,
it.
come back, watch the scene. I got to tell you about it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
like that scene.
That scene is all shot in like one continuous shot. If you notice, they never cut away. There's nothing to cut away to.
Uh-huh.
It took them. Guess how many takes? Guess how many takes you think it took them to get that?
So wait, I'm confused because they spliced the shot into 4.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
they show each person. So you're saying like each person had a continuous shot.
And everything happened at the same time. Like the scene, like it was like, okay, oops, sorry. Hi, Mike. We have 4.
Mike.
Hi, Mike. Hey, Mike. We have 3, I guess, different scenes.
Yeah, because
sets,
one is in the middle. Yep.
but it's all happening at the same time so they can like go off of each other's lines.
Oh.
So it's happening on stage, it's happening on set, it's happening at the same time.
So they had it set up like all 3 rooms were like on the same set,
Live.
recording at the same time.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Which
kind
I
of
don't know if it seems necessary to do
That's
that.
kind
I
of
feel
a
like there's
cool way
another
to
way
do it. I feel like
Is
the
it?
audio would get weird, but
Yeah, you would think that.
but that is a cool way to do it because it's very theatrical.
It is very theatery.
But I'm guessing. Well, it depends on how much rehearsal, because they could have done it in 1 take.
No.
But I'm guessing they didn't have a whole lot of rehearsal, and it became very confusing and kept botching it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna guess that took 36 times.
60.
Wow.
60. The second to last time, it was perfect until your boy Mario messed up one of his lines after it, and then the whole thing had to be redone.
You were probably so pissed with yourself. Like, gosh, dang it.
It took a whole day. The whole day was just that
Wow.
less than 2 minutes of film.
Well, it was a cool shot, though. I
It was
thought it was
cool.
really cool.
It was cool. There's another cool split screen that they do with the couple while they're laying in bed watching TV together, which I think is like really cute.
Oh, yeah, when
They're watching Casablanca.
yeah, when Billy
Mm-hmm.
and Meg are watching, yeah.
So, before I get into like a little bit about that, fun little homage, right, to another couple who I know used to like listen to each other's voices while they watched movies together.
What?
You and me, we used to do that.
We used to, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For
watched
Mrs. Robinson.
The Graduate. That's what that movie is called.
No, it's called Dustin Hoffman and Mrs. Robinson.
I did say that in a weird way. Yeah.
Yeah, we watched The Graduate like that.
We did.
What other movies did we watch like that when we were friends?
Mad Men a little bit, but I don't know if we actually watched it or if we were just talking on the phone while one of us had the TV on. It was more like that. It wasn't like a big thing, but I was like, oh, that's kind of sweet.
That is kind of sweet.
Yeah, harkens back to, again, friends being friends.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Hey, Rach, how are you? Graduate's on. I love you.
I love you. I love you too. But what's also fun is that Rob Reiner and Billy Crystal also used to do that with each other.
They used to call each other and watch movies
They
together?
watch movies together. Like, what are you watching? What channel?
Yeah.
And they talk on the phone. So also a sweet little
That
bromance
is
there.
fun, yeah.
That's where she got the idea for that. But the split screen that they do is actually a throwback to a 1959 film called Pillow Talk. So back in the day, they had this thing called the Hays Code.
Yeah.
Do you remember anything about that? Okay.
No.
So the Hays Code is essentially a code of conduct for the film industry that says that couples are not to be shown in bed together or in any sexual relationship between
Dick Van
unmarried
Dyke Show
couples.
and
Yes,
stuff.
no unmarried couples can be in a sexual relationship either.
Yep.
So a lot of times what they did in Pillow Talk is they had like a split screen thing, like where like they're talking on the phone and it's cute because like they're mirroring each other, but they're like in bed together, but they're not in bed together. It's like a very or they're in bubble baths or whatever, and their feet are touching each other, but you don't know that. Like so, it's very tongue in cheek. So that was a little homage to 1959 Pillow Talk for all you movie snobs out there.
He's a real Rob Reiner's a real Quentin Tarantino with all these throwback film methods, huh? You know, Tarantino does that stuff all the time. He's like, yeah, so there's 3 people on Earth that will recognize this, but this is from obscure movie from 1956 made by a Jimmy Congleton, and
That's not how I imagine Quentin Tarantino to talk.
yeah, so this...
There we go. That is. That's what I said.
Oh, come on, what's wrong with you? I don't even know what that's what he's like either.
But that's closer.
But I think he's more whiny and more like...
Yeah, his nose would indicate that.
Yeah.
He's pinched, very pinched. So, after this movie was gone and dead, it became a play in 2004 in London on the West End.
Really?
It did not do
2004?
well. 2004. So
Why did it start in the West End?
I don't know.
Rather than...
It started and it died in the West End.
Yeah. Sounds like Bridget Jones' Diary should open in the West End.
I think the Brits know that they don't like it. Starring Luke Perry, 90210. You had a blank stare, so I had to tell you that.
I was like, Tyler Perry's brother?
Nope. Good guess. And Allison Hannigan from
from How I Met Your Mother.
How I Met Your Mother.
Oh,
They were
okay.
Harry and Sally. And then they were later replaced by Michael Landis, who...
Yeah, Michael Landis. Michael Landis.
Do you know who that is?
Yeah. Michael Landis is in Aliens, isn't he? Does he play the cyborg guy?
I have no idea. I put down Final Destination 2. That sounded right.
I think, okay.
Are we in the same guy?
Yeah, keep talking. I'm going to look it up really quick, but I'm almost positive.
His co-star, she finally got her chance to play Miss Sally.
Julia Roberts?
No. Molly Ringwald.
Oh,
Molly Ringwald for
Ringwald.
300. So she did get her shot after all that time. We're wondering, what's Molly Ringwald doing right now? She's playing
wait.
Sally.
I think I said the wrong person. Oh, this guy. Yeah, I don't really remember him.
All right, moving on.
I was thinking of somebody. Hold on. I want to know who I was thinking of.
I don't think our listeners really want to hear us doing live research. I
Yeah.
think you scored me every time. Put your phone away.
I know, you're right. I totally messed all that up.
No, Final Destination 2. That's all you need to know.
Yep.
Obviously, big deal. So budget-wise, this film's budget was $16 million. It only opened in 41 theaters on July 12th. because it was kind of more
Wait, July 12th?
July 12th.
So it was a summer movie?
Summer
chick flick?
Summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
Only in 41 theaters. So it's kind of going for like a word of mouth thing. And actually, a lot of the people involved in this film didn't think it was going to make very much money. They thought this might not do well because it was opening at the same time as these 3 big hitters. We've got Batman, Ghostbusters 2,
Wow.
and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Oh my gosh.
It's amazing it made any money.
Those movies all came out in the same summer?
Yeah.
What an awesome summer.
Right? Aren't you a little envious? Like,
Oh
why
my
isn't that this
gosh.
summer? What am I supposed to watch?
I have to get excited for Black Widow, and they had those freaking movies.
I'm kind of excited for Black Widow, but not on the same level.
Yeah, I'll be whatever.
Rude. But it made...
Wait,
What?
speaking of those 3.
What?
Well, you've never seen Last Crusade because that's on the list.
Yeah, you say that, but it's going to be one of those movies where I'm going to, like, every 5 lines, I'm like, oh, and then does this happen? And so I will have seen enough of it, I believe.
Yeah, but you haven't seen enough of it to make it count.
Oh, well.
So, out of Batman and Ghostbusters 2, which movie did you like better?
I don't know that I've seen Ghostbusters 2.
You've never seen Ghostbusters 2 with I was gonna say Khal Drago. That's from Game of Thrones.
No.
What's his name?
I wouldn't think he was born then.
Yeah, I don't remember the guy's name, but this is in the painting. He's like a really big Eastern European looking guy.
Nope. So that first week it made $1 million, so that was good. But then eventually word got out and it made its money back. It made $93 million, so a big success, obviously.
So wait, it cost $16 million, but it made $93 million.
Yeah.
So that's a good job.
Yeah. Nice math.
Rach, how much money did it make then?
70 something, 76, 77.
93 to 16?
Yeah. 77.
Good job.
Plus or minus. It's trying to estimate. It's trying to be cool.
Yeah, because that's what's cool. It's not cool. It's not cool to get the math right off the bat. It's only cool if you kind of guess your way. You're like, it's
roughly
like,
about. Right?
I don't know, it's like 75-ish. That girl's way cool. Instead of 77 million. Oh, that girl's a loser.
Exactly. You got it. So some awards it was up for. For the Oscars, it was up for Best Original Screenplay.
Oh, yeah.
It did not win.
Okay.
But it was up for it. Nora Ephron was up for that from writing.
Cool.
For the Globes. Oh, man, the Globes.
Oh, I bet it killed at the Globes.
Pretty much nominated for everything at the Globes for Best Comedy Movie, Director, Screenplay, Actor, Actress. I don't think it won any of them, but it was nommed for everything it could be at the Globes. One thing it did win, though. It won Best Soundtrack. Ty, who did the soundtrack for this?
Harry Connick Jr. Yeah, I'm singing jazz standards for you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Is that what you think he sounds like?
No, not at all.
And is that what you think jazz sounds like?
Harry Connick Jr.
Worst jazz impression I've ever heard. Oh my gosh.
Singing jazz.
That was closer.
Harry Connick Jr.
No.
Yeah.
We're getting further from it. Harry Connick Jr. won a Grammy for the soundtrack.
He won a Grammy?
He won a Grammy, because that's what people win.
You know what's funny is, so I saw his name and I rolled my eyes right off the bat.
Why? He's great.
Harry Connick Jr.?
Yeah, he's like the Michael Bublé of the 90s.
Yeah, and I like Michael Bublé 1,000 times more.
Oh, that's just because you're a millennial, that's all.
And so when I heard the soundtrack too, there was a little bit, some of the like random jazzy songs that were a little eye roll inducing for me.
Jazz standards are not eye rolling.
Well, I liked it when they were like, I could tell it was a Frank Sinatra jazz standard or something, or they were doing some Gershwin and stuff. I like that.
Oh, did you like
I like
those?
some Louis Armstrong. I thought that was nice. I'm talking.
See, that is a jazz impression.
Yeah.
You say potato, I say potato.
Oh my gosh. I love that you tried to do that.
That was really hard on my vocals. Shoosh.
But let me tell you, it paid off.
Big payoff.
The sacrifice you made to not talk tomorrow was an excellent one. Yep.
See if I can finish this podcast.
We've been singing a
Ooh.
lot today.
I have been singing a lot.
Wipeout started us out with quite the wild ride.
What were we talking about? Grammys. Yeah,
Grammys.
and jazz.
And sweet jazz.
Sweet jazz. Oh, boy. All right, hold it together. We're almost through this. Critics. So originally, some people didn't like this movie. It didn't do
What?
well. Don't act surprised. Why are you
No,
just-
I actually am
are you
surprised.
Yeah, you should be surprised.
Because I would assume that I'm lower than most people. Like, I would assume that this movie did really well.
Yeah, you would assume that. New York Times originally said amazingly hollow.
Oh.
Hollow. Ouch, that just leaves me
Yeah.
cold. Variety said the plot mechanics begin to unwind and the film begins to feel shapeless. So shapeless and hollow.
Yeah.
Oh, that is like
Yep.
and,
That's some
like
strong words.
yeah, everything
too.
that a writer would feel like just
Yeah.
knives.
No, it would be like, oh, gosh, did I not just win a Globe?
Was I or was I not nominated? Was I an Oscar? She was nominated for an Oscar
That's
for
true. She was
screenwriting.
nominated for an Oscar.
That was the best.
Yep.
But others did recognize that this is an instant classic. So LA Times said an unqualified delight. I think that's good.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Sounds
Washington Post said a movie that walks on air.
Oh, my gosh.
When did we say that?
That's wild.
That's very, yeah, so all over the spectrum. And I'm pretty sure the New York Times walked itself back after that. They fired whoever said the amazingly hollow thing. Like, Greg, get out of here. You're wrong again.
You got to get that Greg Kinnear out of here.
This is ranked on AFI's greatest romantic comedies of all time.
Yeah.
Top 10.
Whoa.
Do you want to hear what the top 10 are?
Yes, more than anything in the
Oh,
world.
I love your enthusiasm.
I do. Okay.
Should we start at 10?
Start at 10. Work your way down.
Sleepless in Seattle, number 10.
So it's higher than Sleepless.
Mhm,
Which
yeah.
Sleepless for me is just an okay rom-com,
Mm-hmm.
but I figured it'd be really high on this list.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest, there's a lot on here that we have not seen, and this is like all time.
Sure,
So
yep.
I'm looking at
Oh,
this
and-
list being like, maybe
And
you should do...
AFI always has to show off and be like, well, we can't have all movies that are truly the top 10. We have to include some from the 30s because then we look
Oh, yeah.
cultured.
Oh, yeah,
and
they
then
do.
the 50s, we'll have one from 2010-ish, but other ones are mostly in the 1920s and 30s.
For sure. And this was done like in 2008, so, you know,
Yeah.
there should be some more 2000 movies. There's not. 9 is Harold and Maude. 8, Moonstruck.
Okay.
7...
I've never seen Moonstruck.
I've never either. That's probably one I should watch and then get you
It's
on
Nick
it.
Cage and Cher, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Cher was nominated for an Oscar, I think.
she was. So I think it's Deuce.
Yeah, I think
That's what I
Nick
hear.
Cage might have won.
What?
Yeah, I think so.
Nick Cage won an Oscar?
I think so.
Oh,
We'll find
that's
out.
Very interesting.
We'll find out
Can't
with
wait.
a later movie with Nick Cage in it.
Can't wait. 7, Adam's Rib.
Mm-mm.
Don't know. 6, When Harry Met Sally. Number
Okay,
6.
Number 6.
Number 6.
Wow.
All time. Best rom-com. I know. That's pretty good. 5, Philadelphia Story.
Okay.
I need to see that.
Yep, I've
4,
never seen it.
Roman Holiday. You've
Yep,
seen that.
I liked Roman Holiday. I thought it was good.
It was a good movie.
I think Audrey Hepburn's excellent. She's so good.
Yeah.
Like any time period, she would have been amazing.
She is just captivating to watch. I don't even know if I would say that she's always like the best actress necessarily, but
Yeah.
there's just something about her that she's just mesmerizing on screen.
Yeah, you can't
Like,
turn away from her.
No, you cannot.
Yep.
So
And that movie had Gregory Peck in it, who
Yeah.
I also really like. And
He
it's like,
did.
Gregory Peck, I don't care about you. Show me more Audrey.
tell me more about her.
weird
3,
haircut.
It Happened One Night.
Okay.
2, Annie Hall.
Yep, which I've never seen, but you just watched recently.
That would be one that we might put on the future list.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 1, City Lights, starring Charlie Chaplin.
Oh, of course. We're so cultured at AFI.
This is a movie where he falls in love with a blind girl. And I don't know how it ends. Probably well.
Is he like in his mime outfit?
I mean, yeah, it's a silent film.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
put that on the list. How would you feel about
let's do that one.
we're going to watch that next week. City
yeah.
Lights.
Yeah, that'd be fun to try to find trivia on. Did you know
Did you know?
they were going to go with so and so?
That would be so
I don't know who any of these people are.
BuzzFeed. This is so niche.
70 things you never knew about City Lights.
Can you imagine? That person will also be fired after writing that.
Greg Kinnear, get out of here.
Why is it Greg can hear.
You said Greg again.
I know. I just said finish it. All right. You ready for the Rotten Tomatoes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you think the Rotten Tomatoes is?
So before you said that this movie had like mixed reception, I would have guessed that this movie would be at like an 89%.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stick with that guess. I think
That is the audience score.
Oh,
Well done. Well played,
Ching ching.
dear sir. The Rotten Tomatoes is just a scotch higher at 91%.
Okay.
91%.
Okay.
Critics' consensus. I'm going to read it in a weird voice.
Sure.
Rob Reiner's.
No, do it like how he did in that museum.
What? Oh, that prick on fire.
Yeah.
Rob Reiner's touching funny film set a new standard for romantic comedies. No, I'm doing a different voice. Set a new standard for romantic comedies. And he was ably abetted by the sharp interplay between Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
91%.
91%.
91%.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you ready for your tyometer?
Well, I've got some other things that...
You have more to talk about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we still have to spend our little last bit talking about men and women and friendships. That's a good chunk of it. So.
Okay. So maybe give you my review and then we'll talk about some other stuff?
Sure. Let's do that.
Okay. So here's what I wrote. Harry is kind of a dick. Sally is pretty sweet, but kind of weird. They fall in love, and we wait for them to just figure this out. 68%. I put it above Say Anything,
Okay.
but below Teen Wolf.
Okay. Below Teen Wolf?
Yeah.
Teen Wolf, Ty?
Teen Wolf is so fun. He's got the dad dynamic where they're both werewolves.
Oh my
he
gosh.
he coasts on that semi truck. He
The
goes
van,
into
yeah,
7
he
minutes in
surfs
heaven
on
and
the
he
van.
scratches her back all up. He's great at basketball. I'm starting to think Teen Wolf maybe needs to be higher. It's above Say Anything though.
Yeah, that surprises me.
Really?
I don't know. A little bit.
When we watched Say Anything again, I was like, I see why I liked this when I was in undergrad, but it doesn't. It's
It
kind
doesn't
of
hold
boring
up
to
for
me now.
you.
It's kind of yeah,
I can see
a
that.
little. I don't know.
Oh, awesome.
So hey, there's some random stuff that happens in this movie that I wanted to touch on.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, what did you think of how he ate grapes at the beginning?
Well, that was a character choice. You know that, right? That was Billy Crystal. Like,
I
I need to
assumed.
make this obnoxious. Like,
Yeah.
who can eat grapes more obnoxiously and
hey,
make it weird? And he chops them and he spits them out. He spits out the seeds and the window's not even rolled down. And he spits it on the wind. It's like, it's disgusting, right? Who else can make eating grapes look disgusting but Billy Crystal?
I liked it.
No, you're supposed to. I mean,
Yeah.
from a character standpoint, you're supposed to, for
Yep.
sure. They talked about that a little bit.
Yep. You already mentioned the reading the last page of a book. I think that's pretty interesting too. Like,
Yeah,
and
as a character.
it brings up a story that I don't think I've told on this podcast, but I know you've heard this story.
Okay.
So my buddy Johnny and I, it's junior year, summer, college, I think in between sophomore and junior year. And Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows comes out.
Oh, yeah.
It's sold out everywhere, but for some reason, really late at night, we go to like the Cub Foods, and they're in like what you usually probably is the box where all the watermelons are. You know what I'm talking about? Like those just random like big boxes.
Yep.
Instead, it's piled sky high with like ragtag books, like not neatly stacked, of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows.
Oh, my.
So it's everywhere. It's like, oh my gosh,
everywhere.
they freaking. And so we just came at the perfect time. They probably just offloaded it from the pallet or whatever, and it's sitting there in the middle of the store. And I like go with a couple other friends to go get something. Johnny's like, yeah, go ahead and go without me and just come back and get me when you guys are going to check out.
Mm-hmm.
We come back, and Johnny had read the last 3 pages of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows just so he could know how it ended. And he could lord it over everybody's head that he knew how the book ended. And then, like, so he could just threaten spoiling for everybody else.
Wow. What power.
Yeah.
What
What
power.
a sadistic punk. So it reminded me of that when he was talking about this last page thing. I was like, I had a friend who freaking did that.
Yeah, but for very different reasons.
For sure.
Oh, that's really funny.
I really, really enjoyed. So also, by the way, my enjoyment in this movie started off fairly high. It actually kind of like dipped as the movie went along.
Sure.
It kind of started to lose me.
It's a little long.
Well, it's actually not. I think it's only an hour and a half.
It feels a little long.
But yeah, it kind of felt long a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a scene in the movie that I really liked at the beginning, and not at the very beginning, but when he's getting a divorce
Mm-hmm.
and he's talking with his buddy Mario, and they're at a Giants game,
Mm-hmm.
and they're doing the wave while they're like talking about this really serious stuff, and he's like so committed to talking about the sadness that's like he's engaged in his
divorce,
life.
yep.
But he keeps doing the wave while he's doing it, but he like has no emotion when he does it, but he does it full out. I thought it was so funny. It made me laugh every time they did the wave.
Yeah. That was a really funny spot. I agree.
love that.
Three's comedy. Yeah, it's so
Yep.
good.
I love the staying up and moaning scene. He's like, I usually stay up and moan when he calls Meg Ryan, and then he gets off the phone and he actually keeps moaning. I thought that was pretty funny. So this is a question for you, and maybe you won't feel comfortable about talking about it, but I thought it was really fun to watch these people openly talk, these friends, one male, one female, openly talk about sex and not get weird about it. And it was just like friends talking about sex.
You
That's
mean
what we do. It's
Harry and
open.
Sally
yeah,
talking
when Harry
about
and
it?
Sally like talk about it.
Yeah.
I thought it was nice. I thought it was refreshing.
Uh-huh.
It was just like, we're talking about sex. It's just like a normal topic of conversation.
Yeah. What do you want me to say?
Well,
Do I think it's weird?
Yeah, well, because I feel like we've had conversations before where like you're much more like that would be really weird to talk about sex with.
Well, here's the thing. I think it means something different to talk generally about it versus to talk about your specific sex life with somebody of this. If someone, let's say, sorry, this is going to be a heteronormative conversation.
Yeah.
Sorry. I would say, yes, somebody, if you're talking with somebody of the opposite sex about your sex life, I think that crosses a boundary if, in fact, like you're with somebody. Now, if you guys are just like randomly dating and hooking up, like that's different. But if one of you or both of you are in relationships and you're talking and like confiding in that person about things like that, that to me crosses a line.
That's different.
But generally, two people
Two buddies.
talking about that is fine.
Yeah.
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 Do you want to get into can men and women be friends? Should we talk about that?
No, not quite yet. Not quite yet.
Who's running this podcast anyways?
Because I wanted to talk about first arguments about decor. There is a scene where the best friend Mario
sweating over here.
you should sweat, babe. You should be sweating. Where Mario he gets a table when they're engaged. They're not quite married yet, I don't think.
Yeah, they're like putting their little first apartment together, and it's a wagon wheel table.
Yep,
it's a wagon wheel table with the glass on top.
Yep. It looks stupid, but he's like looking for like friends to back him up on things, and they're like getting in these disputes. And what does she say to him? You'll probably remember this quote better than I will, but it's something like, I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm just trying to make your sense of style better or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, I think you nailed it. I think that's pretty close.
Yep. And when she said it, I looked over at Rach, and Rach literally gave me like the wide eye, like, look.
Okay, ladies, like that's never been a thing. Come on, back me up. And gentlemen, everyone back me up on this.
Yeah.
That's something that people do. When you get together, you groom each other to fit each other better, and sometimes that has to do with like style and decor. Decor especially, I think, comes out anytime that
I change for no human.
everybody does. I change. You know how much stuff we have in the house. It's like I don't really need that poster up over here, but that's fine. That can be up. I don't need to have my whole dining room table full of Halloween Town decorations.
Don't you lie about Halloween Town. You were in on it too. You were an accomplice. It was not the biggest heist of the century.
You convinced me.
We were the James gang on that.
But you will not convince me to let it take over beyond the dining room table.
Yeah, that's where we separate. Rach is ready for
line.
Halloween Town to end construction, and I'm ready for new projects.
The suburbs. We're pushing out of town.
Yep. So, you want to tell the audience about our newest battleground?
What's our newest battleground?
Downstairs bathroom.
So we, during quarantine, Ty and I spruced up all three of our bathrooms. The biggest
They
change...
look so cool.
They do. We did a really good job. The biggest change was our basement bathroom, which was like
it was a
almost
little poop hole.
original to I was going to call it original. You can call it a poop hole.
It was terrible.
Yeah, it was a basement bathroom with like
It
cinder
was
block
so
walls.
gross.
Yeah, rusty sinks, rusty toilets. Just not pleasant to be in. Redid it, right? I
Yep.
think it
looks charming.
really great. But it's got a big blank wall on it.
Yep.
And big blank walls, guys, like that's a lot of opportunity. That's a lot of real estate there. What's going to go on that big blank wall?
Uh-huh.
We all have ideas.
And Rach has won a lot of arguments recently about posters and paintings and stuff on the
artwork,
walls.
just general
Yeah. And
decor in the main house.
yep, and I'm cool with that because I like your sense of style. I think you have a very charming sense of style. It usually represents me in some way. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I kind of like Paris too, of course. So
Yeah, I got a giant map in the middle of our living room that's like Charlemagne's map from something.
Yeah.
Some history stuff.
Charlemagne,
That's for you,
the
babe.
height of the Roman Empire.
That's
Oh,
you, babe.
And it looks awesome.
Oh yeah. That's like the perfect marriage of our
Yep,
of like
that
is what we call a compromise.
That is an awesome piece.
We both won. That was a win-win.
Yep. But I want to indulge in some of my interests a little bit more. And so for this basement bathroom, I see the perfect opportunity. I've offered things that I thought kind of fit like kind of a middle ground, you know? Like what about a map of Minnesota? That's written out in the style of the Lord of the Rings Middle Earth map. But it's not the Lord of the Rings Middle Earth map, but it's Minnesota. But it looks just like that one does. Or what about our two dogs dressed up like Napoleonic era officers in the war?
Like a little puppy portrait.
Like a little puppy portrait, but they look like officers from the 1700s or 1800s. I think that might be cool. So we're working on it. We're figuring it out.
Yeah, we're working on
Yeah,
it.
Rach almost just was like, I'm just doing, nope, you don't get any say. I'm just going to take over. And I actually got her to stop.
Yeah.
And
that wasn't fair on my part.
Renegotiate. Come back to the negotiating table. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll keep you up to breast on how this all
Our walls are still bare.
Yep. It's just white down there.
White
right
walls.
Yep.
We'll figure it out in time.
Yep.
I love that you called me on.
It was so great. It was so great. Your face when it happened was wonderful. It was priceless. And then my last thing was, so they have that romantic part where he like gives that whole, he says that last thing to Meg Ryan, right? Like the really sweet dialogue that you kind of made mention of. That
Yeah, I love how your forehead crinkles when you're mad at me.
All that stuff.
Yeah, all that
so
stuff.
cute. And then they have that kiss. It's a beautiful moment. How do they break that moment off?
They talk about the song that's playing at the time, Old Lang Syne.
He starts on another Billy Crystal rampage about this song, and then she starts to engage in the song too, and it feels like a total ad-lib moment. It might not have been, but it feels like it. And then they kiss again. That was like another moment. I was like, that is the exact my exact problem with this movie.
Interesting.
It's like you had me, and then you just lost me for this stupid little comedic aside that didn't accomplish anything, and then you're back in the moment again. It just breaks me from being engaged.
So you would have preferred the traditional kiss and then pan away and then just don't worry about what happens?
There's just another movie I keep thinking of where they get together, they have a final kiss, and then the camera pans to the sky and the credits roll. What movie was that? Oh yeah, it was You Got Mail.
Do you want to know why they do that? I think they do that, one, because it's really hard to come up with realistic dialogue for after the big kiss. Like, what happens after that? What happens?
I don't care.
You should care, though. You should care.
But
because, well, here's the thing. What I liked about that was it let me know that this time it was going to be different than the last time that they kissed and hooked up, and it was like awkward, and Billy Crystal was like, oops, shouldn't have done that. It was like, hey, remember, we're still... So that was actually written in. It was not an ad-lib.
Okay.
But it lets me know that the characters still have that like witty back and forth, like, hey, we just kissed and we just professed our love to each other, and we're back to, and we're really good friends, and we're still going to have the random conversations that we have. So for me, it gave me even a little bit more closure as to, oh, okay, this is going to work this time.
I knew things were going to be different because of all the things that he said. Because of what he had said beforehand, I knew that he means business this time.
This is the time.
This is real. Because he never said anything like that the first time.
That's true. It just kind of happened.
So I knew that this was his big moment.
That's true.
I just didn't need it.
I think,
all it did was pull me out.
movies oftentimes, I think, end on that note because, one, obviously that's like the final flourish, like the kiss at the wedding, and then we zoom out, credits play, roll. But yeah, I think it was interesting to just stay for like one more minute just to say, okay, but now what are you guys going to do? So I thought it was interesting, so I'm going to disagree with that.
Hey, that's fine. You can disagree. But, I mean, I've been wrong before, too.
Hey, do you want to know what I thought of this film?
Yeah.
Oh.
What'd you think?
Oh, do you?
I do, actually. I
you?
legitimately do want to know what you thought of this.
Well, maybe I will tell you. I gave this
Mm-hmm.
an 88%.
Wow. That's high.
I beg your pardon?
I mean, no, that's good. I'm glad.
Yeah, I didn't react crazy to your
Oh, did you not?
obnoxiously low.
Did you not react crazy to when
did
I
not.
rated Mortal Kombat so high?
That was not. We're not talking about Mortal Kombat. We're talking about when Harry met Sally.
Okay.
We're talking about when they met.
Yeah.
No,
Boy meets girl.
Let me tell you what this is in and around, which also made it a little tricky. So
Sure.
I put this above P.S. I Love You.
Okay.
That's at 81.
Yep.
And at 89, I have Godfather Part 1. So it's below Godfather Part 1 and below Can't Hardly Wait.
Oh, yeah. If you would
And-
put it higher than that, I would
Hey,
thought
let
you
me
were crazy.
finish. And below My Girl. There you
cool.
go. Now, what will you do to me if I put it below Can't Hardly Wait?
I would have been so mad.
Oh, God. Just wanted to give you a chance to finish your threat. From my list. But yeah, 88%.
Okay.
So that would be fresh.
Because
48%.
46. Oh, it's 48 now?
I don't remember.
You
what
said 46 the first time this season. Like 46% is fresh,
Doesn't
right?
make any sense.
What?
Why wouldn't it be 50 if it was anything?
Yeah, it probably should just be 50. Do you want to get into the
Let's get
thesis statement?
to the thesis statement of the whole film.
Okay.
The question that it asks
Yeah.
again, I'm going to apologize in advance. This is a heteronormative conversation.
Well, and you could think about it from...
I'll try to be more inclusive,
We might
but
be
I just...
heteronormative in our responses, but you can think about it in a different way.
For
For sure. It applies across the board.
Yeah, I'll do my best. Can men and women
Mm-hmm.
be friends? Be just friends?
Yes.
Yes.
But...
And?
I do tend to agree with some of the things that he says, they say.
Billy Crystal says.
Both of them. And they both make these points.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when you're both with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
I think you would definitely be friends.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really kind of easy sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You're watching Happy Endings right now,
Mhm.
and they talk about like the work wives and work husbands and stuff like that even in
Mhm.
that. So like you can be friends with somebody if you both know that it's just friendship and that you have somebody on the other hand.
Do you know what happens in that episode of Work Wives?
Yeah,
Okay.
I
I just
remember-
want to make sure that you
I do
remember how that
remember,
ends.
But have you gotten to that episode yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, I think that episode's really
Spoiler
funny.
alert, it ends in them wanting to try a foursome. So that is not a good example.
But not not Wayne's guy, like Wayne's girl. She doesn't want to.
Oh, yeah, she
she's
does.
like not interested in him
Oh, yes, she is.
because he's interested in her. This is a tangent.
No. Anyways,
But-
I'll just let you know, spoiler alert, that doesn't work. But continue.
But,
Continue on your examples.
And I think if you're both single and you're both attracted to each other,
Mhm.
that's also a factor.
Mhm.
And I know that sounds mean in a way. That
It's
like,
not.
but if you're attracted to each other, that is something that has to be taken into consideration.
Mm-hmm.
And can be extra hard.
Mhm.
And even if one of you is single,
Mhm.
I think that's hard.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
I'm actually surprised that we're closer on this than I thought. Because I would say, platonically, question just on the table, can men and women be friends? Yes, of course.
For sure.
Of course they can. But what I will add to it, a little asterisk, it's more complicated than I think people give it credit for,
Yep.
especially given certain factors. Attraction is a big one.
Yeah, for sure.
Attraction is
For
a big
sure.
one because in my life experience, it has never worked out when one or both parties
Mhm.
are attracted to the other person and wanting to just be friends. It's never worked out. And that's
Nope.
just my own personal experience. So I know someone's probably like, that's bullshit, or whatever. But it's like, I'm sorry. It's never worked out. The last time that I was friends with somebody, he became my husband. So I don't know what to tell you. It just has never worked for me.
But at the same time, to be fair, you were friends with Johnny.
Okay, so interesting that you bring up.
Yeah.
Okay, so this friend, Johnny, we're one of your best friends.
Yep.
So here's the thing that's different with that friendship, I think.
Is Johnny's not attractive?
No. Poor Johnny, he's getting thrown under the bus.
Johnny watches and listens to every episode. He's like, leave me out of this. Quit talking about me.
But yes, of course. Oh, so yes, Johnny and I consider him a friend, but separately. But I know Johnny through you.
Yeah.
Okay, so would I be able to have my own friendship with Johnny? That's
true,
can
because
Johnny,
it's always
if you're
like
not
on the
here,
median.
well, I'd say if you're not here, and granted, like Johnny and I have been by ourselves before. It's okay for people of opposite or same genders to be in the same room with each other. That's okay. I'm not saying that to anybody, but because that sounds weird. Like, I wouldn't be like, if Johnny lived in Mankato, I wouldn't be like, Johnny, come to the farmer's market with me today. Johnny, come do this with me. Like, I wouldn't, and be just our thing, not anybody else's thing. Like no one else is invited, like, or I wouldn't call Johnny and be like, hey, let's talk about.
Especially if I wasn't invited, I'd be like, why did you guys not invite me?
No, because this is our friendship. So that's a hard.
That's
I
true.
want to take out like friends of friends, like your friends and like
you're
my
right. That
friends.
is a muddy argument.
Yeah, like we have like a couple that we hang out with, and like we would hang out with them as a couple, but I wouldn't seek out the male by myself to hang out with.
Yeah,
that would feel weird.
Yep.
To me.
Yep.
You know. But again, it's not that there's a trust thing. It's just it's weird. It's more complicated than people give it credit.
But they're still your friend.
Of course.
Like,
I still include them
like
as
who
a
you're
friend.
talking about.
Yeah.
Is still your buddy.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I guess you wouldn't hang out one-on-one.
Yeah, I want.
But we each have friends that are of the opposite sex that we had before we got together.
And that is different.
That is different.
That is different. What I would say is newer, okay, and again, this just comes back to like a married couple, right? But like, so friendships, and maybe it's not even just like platonic friendships. I'm talking like best friends. Could you be best friends with somebody of the opposite gender?
Best friends is another thing too. Than just friends.
I know.
Because friends is one thing, and best friends is another.
Best friends makes it complicated.
Yep.
Now again, like if you're both single and you're best friends, that's one thing. But as you're starting to date and still be best friends, like that's hard. And especially if there's attraction there, I just think it's very complicated, and I've never seen it work out. Someone can tell me I'm wrong, but I'll poke a hole in your story, because I will poke a hole in your story because I know better.
Yeah, I like to think of somebody coming to you and be like, yeah, so I have this best friend that, we're all super close, and then like they tell you the whole story and you're like, you're in love with him. You're, like, you're right. I'm going to go divorce my husband right now and get engaged to Troy. I just made up.
Sure. So, yes, I think we're on the same page. I think, yes, of course, men and women, or men and women and women, they can all be friends. But it is complicated.
It is complicated.
And people who just rush into it and think that feelings won't get hurt or attachments won't get made are being naive.
Yep.
And shame on you for being naive.
I think the whole idea of like friends hooking up just because they're like bored and they don't have anybody and they don't want to be alone. I think that's so messy.
I've never seen that work either.
I haven't
I've
either.
never seen that. I've never heard that working. People do that, like a hookup is a hookup, but we'll still be friends or still be like hookup buddies, but then like just keep it platonically hookups. I've never heard that working.
Because even when they're like, yeah, we're still buddies, I would always challenge that you could say that you're still buddies, but like that person that you hooked up with and now you're with somebody else, like how often are you really hanging out with that person? How often are you really calling that person? You're probably not as close of friends as you used to be after you hooked up. Yeah. Because that's just the nature of the game, baby.
Nature of the game. We're complicated beings, and that's okay to be complicated. We're not just it's not just about sex. It's not just about that. There's more to it. We have feelings.
Yeah.
And that's okay. So, and who knows, maybe it's more different, or maybe that's more open in like differenter maybe. differenter in the
like how-
homosexual community.
I like how
Maybe
I
that's
corrected you in this
differenter.
thing, too.
Differenter.
That's more differently-er. Yep.
Thank you, babe.
Yep. You're right. It could be different in different
be.
communities.
Could be. Yeah.
And this is just our experience.
I'm only talking about my little bubble of the world.
Yep.
And
what I've seen and observed,
Like
and
I said.
experienced, and yep.
last time I was best
Sure.
friends with somebody, I married him. So I'm just putting that out there.
I was your best friend.
I considered you one of my best friends.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
I also loved me.
I'm just couldn't. You couldn't let the moment stay. Had to-
Like Billy Crystal.
yeah, you are like Billy Crystal. That's probably why you hate him so much.
You know what? I think there might be truth to that. If we're really gonna break it down, there were moments where I was like, "Can't you just let the moment be?" And I felt like a little bit of talking to myself. There's truth to that.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. I do think that there's. I even
Holy
made note of
moly.
that towards the end of the movie. I was like, Billy Crystal's character is just. I like him, but I'm annoyed by him. I was like, do you say that because he reminds you of yourself a little bit? I was like, oh, kind of, I guess.
Wow, that got really introspective. That's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Hey, that's why you tune in, though. What are those other movie podcasts doing?
Yeah.
Huh? What are they doing? Hey?
Okay.
Yeah, so in 1763, the first photograph was made.
You don't want to know about that.
You are being a really Billy Crystal right
You
now.
wanna
are not.
know-
You're going and going.
You want to know about this.
For sure. This is what you
We
get.
bring the money, baby.
Woo! And so much of it.
Yep.
That was a fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Listeners, are you ready to hear what's in store for you for week 6?
Yep. Okay.
Yes, 6.
So the next film that we're going to do.
Wait a second.
Week 7.
Week 7.
This is week 6.
Did I say this was week 5?
No, I think you said the right thing.
Listeners,
Amend if you did.
I'll fix it.
Yeah.
I'll fix it in post.
Welcome everybody to week 6.
6.
All right. So for week 7,
7.
we're flipping the script on its head. We're going to change things up. I've done this before, but this is like truly like with My Girl or Say Anything, but this is truly like we're getting into chick flick. This is like one of the most primary chick flicks I've been talking about forever. Just kind of as Rach and I have continued to talk about it throughout the summer, I think she actually knows this movie much better than I do. I was watching clips of it to prepare for this one. And I was like, oh gosh, I don't remember any of this. And I was like, this is terrible. It's going to be awful. I can't wait. So I'm going to give you a little snippet of it.
I'm ready.
And I lay my head back down.
So good, babe. That was so good.
Yeah, did you like it?
It was. It was just breathy enough.
And I close my eyes and pray to be only yours. What is it, Rach?
A walk to remember.
Get ready for this little doozy.
What?
You want to practice some Shakespeare? I'll look to like if.
Shoot. Looking, liking, make like.
No.
I don't remember.
I'll look to like if.
If I know the first part, I'll do the first part.
Okay.
I'll look to like if
Looking.
liking, may move to like.
No, just end there. Just end there.